my boy Billy Griffin Jr. Let's go. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore. Ooh, legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Tapp, the drummer for Madhouse, legendary group back in the day. We did a lot of performing and performed with a lot of the biggest stars in the world, from Jimmy Castor Bunch to Commodores, Grand Central Station, Parliament Funkadelic, War, Ohio Players. War, especially our friends, they were really our buddies in Ohio Players. New Birth, just a real nice bunch of guys, really. This is my uncle. He was the road manager for our group.
Hi, my name is Fred Tapp, better known as Pete from back in the day. Kenny and I have been together for a long time. In fact, the way Kenny started in drumming was, I was the business manager for a drum and bugle corps, the Falcons Drum and Bugle Corps. And I drug Kenny into learning how to play the snare drums with Falcons. And he progressed from the snare drums into the funk music world. And he got together with Bunky and the boys, and he got in. They started Madhouse. And the way they came up with the name Madhouse, we was sitting around at a rehearsal one night, and everybody was going crazy, and somebody said, man, this is really a madhouse, and the name stuck.
Mm-hmm. Just like that. Yeah, so the album Madhouse had songs on it that was politically motivated to help us understand what was going on politically. And Nixon was president at the time. So we wrote a song called Nixon Ego Trip, and that was created by Joel Razor Sharp Johnson, who has passed away, and I'm really sad about it, but I loved him so much. And we had songs on there called Serve 'Em. Elliot Barnes, who's passed away, I love him. I miss him a lot. And shout out to his family, Joey's family and Elliot's family. He wrote Serve 'Em, the words and stuff, and him and Gary and Hondo, he's passed away. And shout out to his family, his wife, Gail. And, they were the members, man. And the horn section, Leroy Mims, Neil Sims, and Ricky Evans. Oh, they was like the Earth, Wind, and Fire horns, man. Them boys was nasty. But the bassist, the nucleus of the group, was Mr. Thomas Julius Smith Jr., a.k.a. Bunky, because he was so funky, we called him Skunky. And the guitarist, Mr. Robert Legrand, we call him Wawa. And we had a Congo player, and his name was Larry Gill back in the day. Larry Gill was a master percussionist. He's still living today. Shout out to Larry. How you been, man? Hope to see you someday. And we just had and Mr. Joel Razor Sharp Johnson, who was a keyboard player. Joey was just a genius, man. He really was. He really was.
Hey, Kenny, don't forget Leroy.
And Leroy Mims, the trombone player. I said Leroy Mims. I said Leroy Mims. I said Neil Sims and Ricky Evans. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was funny how we got to record at the album and the 45 with Today's Records. Mm-hmm. We had did Anthony Davis.
Right,
Was
WWIN.
with WWIN. Yeah, he wanted to produce the group,
Right.
and so we did a demo tape in Bunky's basement, and we sent that to New York, and New York liked the tape and decided that they wanted us to go into a studio, and we went to a studio in
New York.
no, we went to a studio in Catonsville at first.
Oh, at first. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, I did
And
forget about that part. Yeah.
We did that. We recorded all day that day, did several takes and whatnot, and sent it up to New York, and New York didn't like it. And so what they decided they wanted us to do, we told them, well, we did the demo in the basement, and it was tight quarters. So what they did, they had us to come to New York, and they put us in a studio down on South Broadway, Soho Studios.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
that place was so tight, you couldn't even, excuse my French, but a cockroach couldn't even get through in there.
It was very small and inconvenient.
And the guys got in there and they did a take. They did their record in one take, and it was done. And a couple months later, after that, that's when Today wanted us to come up and do an album.
In New York. Yeah.
We went up to New York to do the album, and a lot of the songs that was on the album, those guys were so good that they wrote the songs right there in the studio. And we just went on and did it. And that was the kickoff. And the first, I remember the first.
But what about
National
Get Some of This when they gave us the song because their
Yeah.
staff writer wrote it, and it was like a Jim Croce song.
Yeah.
With a 12-string guitar. And we was like,
That
hey.
was one of the songs that y'all created and did in
We
the studio.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was their song.
Right.
But they had gave it to us in Bunky's basement. Anthony let us hear it, and Bunky said, look, we're going to do this song the way we want to do it. And he said, well, do it any way you want. So a week went past. Anthony came back to Bunky's house. Bunky said, all right, this is how we did it. And that what you hear on the recording is how we rocked it. And he said, man, we love it. And it was the #2 hit on the album. Serving was #1, and then Get Some of This was #2. And Get Some of This is more popular now today than Serving. The groups we play with, man, War, Ohio Players, Jimmy Castabunch, Mass Production, Grand Central Station, Bill Withers, The Spinners,
Larry Graham.
Larry Graham, and Grand Central Station, Sly and the Family Stone. We did a show at Coppin State with Earth, Wind and Fire years ago. We did Mass Production. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Renee Diggs of Mass Production over in Annapolis. That was my girl, man. Renee Diggs, she could sing, man. And she passed away. And I'm just giving props to her, and sorry for y'all lost her family and everything. They was from Annapolis, but they was real good, man. They was real good. Music was sharp, horn section was killer. Yeah. So I just give prop out, shout out to her because she was very good. She was a nice person too. Yeah. We played with Betty Davis. We played with OJ's. It was just so many, man. I can't even remember. It's a lot of groups like the Dramatics that was out there, the Manhattans. A lot of people still are familiar with those groups, especially the middle-aged people my age. You know what I mean? And so it's been a very interesting life being a kid growing up in the music business, and I got to meet a lot of people like Chaka Khan and Isaac Hayes wanted to meet me, and because I was so small and such a kid-like looking individual, but could play with such adult precision, that he told my uncle Pete sitting here, said, look, I want to find out who that little boy is playing for that group called Madhouse. So Pete came into the dressing room and said, Kenny. And I said, what, Pete? He said, Isaac Hayes want to talk to you. I said, Pete, get out of here, man. Stop playing. He said, the man want to talk to you. I said, Isaac Hayes, for real, Black Moses, for real? He said, yeah. So he said, come on, fool. So he led me to his dressing room, and he wouldn't go in there with me. He walked in there with me, but he pushed me on up to the front, and I said, how you doing, Mr. Hayes? He said, how you doing, little man? He said, man, you can play them tubs. He called them tubs, right? He said, you can play them tubs. He said, you bad. He said, you bad. I said, thank you, Mr. Hayes. I said, I love your music, man. And Shaft you should have won an Oscar for it. I said, it was killer. He said, well, thank you. And so a representative said, well, Mr. Hayes is busy. He got to go. I said, okay, Mr. Hayes, take care of yourself. I'm going to watch you perform, man, because you a Leo just like me. He said, oh, you really are? I said, yes, sir. A lion, baby. He said, all right, my man. And I walked out. So I met some interesting people as a kid. And I named my first daughter after LaToya Jackson, because when we was in Philadelphia doing the show, and the Jackson had just left Motown, and they got with CBS, but they was up in Philadelphia International, because my boys, the guys who started their own Philadelphia International Record Company, they were producing the Jacksons. And the Jacksons was in the studio, and we just happened to Pete said, y'all want to stop and see Philadelphia International Studio? I said, you don't want to do that. Y'all, come on. We just stopped past there. They got the records all on the wall, you know. And, you know, anybody could really just go step in. You can't go to the office. And I was just at the hallway, and I seen LaToya Jackson. And this is before she had got all the, you know, makeup stuff done and stuff. And she had a nice long dress with a lot of pleats in it, real pretty. And long, pretty hair, man. And she was just so sweet and nice, very caring. So, she had a conversation with me. And I said, man, I love you guys, man. She said, well, thank you. I said, your brothers. I said, that Michael, he the best, man. She said, yeah, that's my brother. I love him. So Randy came out one of the rooms and said, come on, LaToya, we got to go. And I said, you know what? I said, when I have a child, I said, I was only 17 then. I said, I'm going to name her LaToya. And my first daughter's name is Vanita LaToya Tapp. So I met her. She was really nice, just a sweet soul. You could tell.
4th of July, we did like 3 parades in that day.
Yeah, I know. We was like working overtime that day.
We did Dundalk, and we did Catonsville, and then we did the stadium. We did the stadium fireworks show.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember Memorial Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. We did some shows, man.
Those were the days.
We traveled everywhere from Boston, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, the Carolinas. We played, man. I mean, I was just introduced to traveling because my uncle was like that. He was always traveling, and he's still doing that today. No moss don't grow up under them feet. He was in Greece last month, 2 months ago, then Italy and Rome and just Paris and sailing the Greek islands on boats and stuff. He just traveled all the time because he's a travel agent now, worked with a travel agency office and got his own office there. So I guess if people want to travel, just call him.
Speaking of travel, we did a gig with, we got taught into doing a gig with Bootsy's Rubber Band. Well, prior to them being Bootsy's Rubber Band, they were called Bootsy and the Complete Strangers.
Bootsy Phelps and the Complete Strangers.
And
because his brother Catfish was named Phelps.
And what had happened, Bootsy and them, they were playing with George Clinton, and something happened with the group up in Canada, and they quit the group, and they came back to Cincinnati, and they were in touch with Gary Cooper, and we talked us into coming up there. It was right after we released the
In fact, it was on Christmas. It was a holiday.
I know. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you remembered.
I remember. Anyway, we had did some gigs, and so we got together. I made arrangements with this one travel agency for us to fly out to Cincinnati, and we did the gig, and we came back, but it was somewhat of a disappointment because things didn't go quite right. But anyway, that was beyond, that was over the dam.
Yeah. Like water over a duck's back.
Yeah.
Let it keep it on grooving.
And when we came back, we had another gig, which ended up, the promoters ended up canceling on us because and that was Christmas night.
After we got back and flew back from Cincinnati, we had a show Christmas night. That's why we wanted to get back. And then that show was canceled. It was some old group guys and it was a hit song. If I had a hammer, I hammer in the morning. I hammer in the evening. I hammer all day long or something like that. It was a stupid song, but it was a hit. And the promoter hired this group to play.
Yeah.
But when they came out and played, the people booed them and said, man, get off the stage. Y'all sound like a bunch of crazy people. They said, where Madhouse at? We want Madhouse. Madhouse. And the people start getting overwhelmed and stuff, man. And the promoter was like, but man, so-and-so and so-and-so. We said, look, man, if we don't go on, these people going to be mad and they're going to tear this place up. And the promoter got mad with the group who's supposed to have been the stars of the show, and they played so bad that the people was upset. So the man didn't want to do the show and let us come on, didn't want to pay us. So the people got mad, and man, they tore that place up, man. And then it had went out and saying it was like a stigma going out, said, man, don't hire Madhouse because they start riots and stuff. But it wasn't our fault. So they start people to get all uptight and stuff.
I think, Kenny, you got that confused. It wasn't that show.
No, it wasn't that show, but that's what they would say because of people would get upset because
the show that happened at was up at
Embassy Ballroom.
No, it wasn't Yeah, it was the Embassy Ballroom.
Right, but I'm talking about what happened Christmas night because we had to perform, right? Did we perform that night?
No, you didn't.
That's what I thought. I know we didn't.
You didn't.
And the people got upset about it. Because when Madhouse, people come to see Madhouse and something happened with the promoters or some abnormality take place, and then they want to just throw the people under the bus and don't give them their show, they get mad, man. And so when they do that, they think it's us creating a problem and making the people get mad, but the people are mad because they can't get to see Madhouse and them funky grooves we was giving up and them banging vocals.
And back in those days, all the promoter had to do was advertise that Madhouse was going to be there, and they had to sell our crowd.
And sometimes they would have to make 2 shows in one night, and then sometimes they would oversell the tickets, knowing the place can only hold 12 to 1,400 people. And they got 1,500 people. And the marshals would come in there sometime and shut the show down, didn't they, people?
Yeah,
because they were greedy.
That happened down at the
Maritime Union Hall. That circle place used to be on Broadway. It happened in a few other instances in different
the
venues.
Embassy Ballroom, they set it on fire.
Yeah, and they blamed that on us. It was a New Year's Eve show. And the Stylistics was on that show, remember? And the Stylistics didn't even get a chance to come out and perform. And the people, what had happened was they didn't want us to come on for some reason because they didn't want to pay us the money they supposed to pay us. And Pete said, well, if you don't pay us what we contracted for this show and we done came here and got all our equipment set up, then we're not going to do the show. So the promoter said, well, the heck with y'all. But he said it in a more disturbing manner. You know what I mean? And so Pete said, okay, well then, all right, boys, pack up, let's go. So the roadies start packing up the equipment, putting it in the truck. And the people start getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And next thing you know, they start kicking over tables.
Yeah,
and the stylistics hardtail. They got up out of there, boy.
Somebody set a room on fire.
Yeah, the place ended up being on
fire. And the
fire.
fire department came, and you had about 40 people still sitting there waiting for the show to go on in the smoke.
And we was laughing. We was like, yo, they really want to see this show, man. I'm telling you. So, see, that moniker was stuck on us that we create havoc and riots at shows, and that wasn't the truth. It was the promoters who, for whatever strange reason, something happened where they either didn't want to pay us what they contracted to pay us at first, or it was some discrepancy. And my uncle, when it came to the business, he didn't play. If they played games, he wasn't with it. And he knew the power that our music had and the influence we had on the music society during that time.
Yeah, well, as time goes on, things start to happen, and the record company didn't want to do another album and whatnot. And so we just decided that we were going to move on. And the group decided they were going to move on. We lost a couple people, like we lost Wawa. He had moved on and
went to Pendergrass.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Orchestra director. And
Joey went with Bootsy.
Joey ended up going with Bootsy's rubber band. And so the rest of the group stayed together, and we refilled some of those folks.
Joey was with us with Witchcraft,
yeah.
But Gary came and got him the week before we was getting ready to do the Grand Central Station show. A week, and we had to get a white dude named Bob Garoche, remember?
Yeah.
The keyboard player.
And so what we end up doing, we end up converting the group into a group called Witchcraft. But
I got to correct you on that. The record company wanted to sign us again, but we refused because they didn't give us no residuals as far as publication, because we wrote all the songs except Get Some of This. Joey wrote Nixon's Ego Trip, and the rest of the group put the songs together. Elliot wrote the words to serve them to the people, him and Hondo and Gary. They didn't get no money. You see what I'm saying? And then by us redoing Get Some of This, we should have got performing rights, but we didn't get none. So when the company called Bunky, I was sitting there in his house when the company wanted to do another album, but we wanted some residual. We wanted some type of monies and proceeds from the music, and they didn't want to go along with that. So Bunky said, no, we don't want to.
I know the reason that I didn't remember that is because I had suffered an illness, and I went in the hospital in Philadelphia, and I was in the hospital for a couple weeks.
Yeah, and you wasn't
when I came
there.
Back, I told the group that they had to find another manager because I was working too hard.
Yeah,
because I was, in addition to working the group as manager,
you was working for the federal government too.
I was working for the federal government, doing all the overtime that I could do.
Yeah, he was a workhorse and worked himself half to death. That's what he did.
And I just couldn't keep up the pace.
Right, physically you couldn't.
I had to turn loose those reins, and then later on,
Gregory Scroggins came in.
I got back with the group with. Gregory Scroggins.
Yeah, Gregory Scroggins came in, and he liked Witchcraft, so he started being behind us, and we started doing shows with big groups. Because Gregory was the promoter, bringing nothing but the big accent, and no matter where they was, if they was at Painter's Mill, we was on that show. UMBC, we was on that show. Baltimore Civic Center, we was on that show. Because he was bringing all the big stars in. Gregory Scroggins, my man. Shout out to Gregory. He still in good health, brother.
And later on, we hooked up with an old man, Cleveland Blackman.
Yeah, Mr. Blackman. God bless him.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
And
yeah, I love Mr. Blackman. That was my man.
He started promoting the group.
Yes, sir.
That. And so, and then we acquired
Who?
Ira.
Oh, we got Ira. We incorporated
Ira
her
Glover.
into the group because she gave it that Ira Glover was a star on her own because her mother, Ruby Glover, was a star. And she sung with Billie Holiday and sung on Broadway. Ruby Glover was, man, she was really a big star. People didn't give her
And
props.
what we did, we changed the look of the group. We ended up getting the group into suits.
Yeah, so we started wearing suits.
They were wearing pink suits, white shirts.
But the suits was made of a certain fabric material.
Yeah.
When the lights hit them, they would change colors, whatever the lights changed, because they was made for show business. It was the material. And we found that out. He said, man, this material is amazing. And the guy showed him how he shined the lights on and they would turn different colors. So when we were performing these suits, man, they looked like we were going to a wedding or something. Oh, it's like we was going to a wedding. We had the nice bow ties and the shoes and we was clean. But the lights would change the suits every color. It would, I'm telling you, man, the suits was radiant. And people said, man, y'all was changing colors. How y'all changing outfits like that? We said the lights did it. It's the reflection of the suits that we wear that reflected the light.
And speaking of Halloween, with the name Witchcraft, we really started doing
Halloween
shows.
Yeah, because people wanted us because of the name.
We had two guys they had a mask on. One was a mask of an old witch and one was a
mask of an old man.
Was
an old
Frankenstein.
Man. Yeah, but you know, Frankie used to do old man.
Yeah, and then
Mr. Blackman's son.
What we used to do is this second set, we used to take them out on stage. Frankenstein, we would pretend that we would build him Frankenstein and he would get up and start walking around and whatnot. And we had this prop pistol and somebody would shoot Frankenstein. and they would go through this set with this, started the set off with this. And also they had 2 7-foot boa constrictors on stage.
We did some crazy stuff at Madhouse, especially around the Halloween time.
I used to meet a lot of girls that way because I'd be sitting back and whatnot, and the women, they see those snakes, they come jumping on my lap. It was a ball.
We had a good time, man. But then once the group broke up, Lee Pittman, the lead singer for Tomorrow's Promise, called Bunky. Because Bunky was the original member of the band when they were with a group called the Sultans. Well, he said, man, I heard y'all broke up. Bunky said, yeah. He said, well, we need a band. Bunky said, when? He said, now. So that night, we went down to the church down on Oliver and Caroline Street. I think it's called St. Francis Church.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. And we used to rehearse in the basement. And we started rehearsing with Lee and them because they had 2 weeks after we had got with them to do a show in Virginia at the Scope with the OJs. And they said, man, we got to do this show, man. So we said, okay, we got together in 2 weeks and put a funky groove, up-tempo, R&B type show together for them. And they were performing and doing steps like the Temptations and sweating and everything. But we got prepared. When we went up to Virginia at the Scope and we came out, we rocked that place. We rocked that place so bad Lenny, that the people wanted an encore, and the promoter of the show wanted to give us an extra $500 to do another song. So we came out and did it, and we did Celebrate Good Times by Kool and the Gang, a singing group. And we funked that song up, and Lee Pittman was singing that song, and them harmonies they put in there in their own style. They was very creative. And man, the manager for the OJ said, okay, it's time for our boys to come on, get them off. So the man had to interrupt us, and we couldn't finish the whole song because we was grooving so nicely. I'm telling you, we was really doing it. Joey was playing keyboards for us then, Razor Sharp, before he left and go with Boosie. And Joey had a ARP synthesizer, Moog synthesizer. He had a clarinet D6, and he had a Fender Rhodes. And man, he sounded like an orchestra over there by himself. And people thought we had 10 people in the band. It was just 4. So we was very unique after that, you know. And then when Tomorrow's Promise, we left them because there was a negotiation where Capitol wanted Lee Pittman as a solo artist. They didn't want him to be with the guys singing with them no more. They didn't want us to be the band no more. They just wanted him, solely him. And he turned it down. So that's what happened with that, because Tomorrow's Promise should have been real big. It's like the Spinners and the Temptations, really.
Soft Tones.
Who?
Soft Tones.
And the Soft Tones.
Yeah.
They was a good group. Marvin Brown, God rest his soul. That was my man, Jack. Love Marvin and all them boys, man. Yes, sir. So getting back to Lee, when we worked with Tomorrow's Promise, we played with everybody. And a lot of the bigger groups that we played with, we was at Fayetteville State University. And at the time it was called Fayetteville State. And we played with the Commodores. So the sound people wanted to sound check. And we had just got there. And the concert was like maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours before it was going to start. So Monkey said, okay. He said, look, the technicians, sound people want us to do a sound check. So we got on stage. I said, well, Monkey, what we going to do? He said, we're going to do Get Some of This. I said, oh, okay. So we start funking Get Some of This. And the sound people was like, yo, man, who is that band? They said, man, that's the band for Tomorrow's Promise. He said, man, they sound like a rock funk group. He said, Get Some of This. We remember that group. That's a group called named Madhouse. He said, y'all play that song just like them. And we told the engineer, because we are them. He said, what? He said, yeah, we the Madhouse band, but we just playing behind them because our group broke up. And Lee and them, we grew up with them, Tomorrow's Promise. And he said, oh, man, that's great. So when we performed, when Lee and them came out to perform, when the show started and it was our time to perform, Lee and them was performing so good and we was grooving so nicely that a couple of the Commodores came out and they was standing around looking like, man, who was them guys? Them guys is nice. And we was jamming, Jack. I mean, we was grooving. And what had happened was when we came off stage, the people wanted more. But the Commodores had to come on, you know, because Mr. Benjamin Ashburn, I think that was his name, God rest his soul. He wanted them to get on out there and get on stage because they had other shows to do or other places to travel to. So we didn't do no encore. But it was a nice experience, you know, being with Tomorrow's Promise and all the groups they played with, man, all the groups they played with. I can't even name them. It was just a unique experience by being with Lee Pittman. And come to find out, he ended up being my brother-in-law because I'm married to his sister, only sister he got. Deborah, yep, sure is. So that was my boy. I loved him. But you know what I'm doing today, man? I'm working with a brother named Trauma, Trauma. It stands for Travel Round and Understand My Anatomy. He got music on YouTube, all on all the platforms. So all you have to do is just speak into Google and say, Trauma 456 YouTube music, and you can pull up all the songs. Let Go, Let God, Find a Way, Silly Games, especially Silly Games, because it talks about the administration that's running the country now and the silly games that are being played with people's lives and people losing their jobs and stuff like that. And it's really ridiculous, but it's social conscious R&B, hip hop, social conscious, speaking about what we should do and how we can go about doing it. But at the same time, the rap is real smooth and slick and let you know what's truly going on. And we need to be woke. Yeah, a lot of people are sleeping and they got this new acronym out called woke, WOKE. So I came up with a name for it and to describe it. And I think it means wonders of knowledge eternal. Because the greatest knowledge is God's knowledge, and God is eternal, for our spirits and our souls are eternal. So that's why I came up with that acronym, Wonders of Knowledge Eternal, woke. We all need to wake up. So what you think, Uncle Pete, and what you been doing lately with your busy self, sir?
Well, me, I have been working with a rock group.
Okay, what's the name of them?
It's called the Living Good Project.
All right, the Living Good.
Yeah, they've been doing some gigs around locally and whatnot.
Good.
And other than that, I'm more focused on the travel business. 2 years ago, I took a trip. My wife and I, we took a trip, flew to Rome, Italy, and stayed in Rome for 2 days.
Well, I tell you, he always traveling around the world, man. I'm telling you.
Then we sailed back to New York on a cruise ship. I spent 19 days on the ship.
19 days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on the ship for that long. Maybe 5 or 6 when we used to do little boat cruises, but other than that.
Yeah, we stopped at some nice places like Barcelona, Spain, Valencia.
World traveler.
Cadiz. Then we went to Crucel, Portugal, which is on the island of Madeira in the Atlantic Ocean. And it was funny because my wife, when we got to Madeira, my wife would say, "Hey, let's fly home from here." I said, "Why? We got a few more days. We got about another 8 days to go
to sail on the ship, right?" Go ahead.
Yeah, but the thing was, when we left Crucel, the ship would be sailing across the Atlantic in this 5 days and 5 nights continuous.
Oh, okay.
No ports.
No ports.
Right.
Did y'all cross the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, we sailed into Bermuda.
That's why she wanted to fly.
We went to Bermuda, and Bermuda was nice, and we spent 2 days in Bermuda, and it was really great. Then we left Bermuda and we sailed back to New York.
Yeah, Mr. World Traveler.
And like you said...
but I travel a little bit. I go to Vegas, my wife and I, Atlantic City, and Delaware, North Carolina, Virginia, Florida. We go places and travel.
But it's nothing like going overseas and seeing
other cultures. Seeing other cultures, man. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Because in fact, when I get back home, I'm expecting a rug. We bought a rug in Turkey.
Okay.
And back in August, and they're delivering it today.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing to know that we still here. And I'm still got music that I'm doing, and I got a project coming out, and it's going to be great, man. It really is. And I'm going to have my boy Trauma spit some little words in the song I got coming out. It's going to be real nice. It's got that spirit and that up-tempo, high energy like Michael Jackson. It's called The Power Inside. It's been a pleasure here discussing the old times about the legendary group Madhouse. I'm doing some new things, and if you want to hear some new things, just contact Trauma 456 YouTube Music. Just go to Google and say Trauma 456 YouTube Music and pull up the music that's social conscious, speaking about the things that's going on today. And you can contact me at my email address is ket5512@gmail.com. Thank you and have a good day. Mr. Tapp?
Yeah, my name is Fred Tapp. People know me as Fred Tapp. I'm in travel. My travel agency is the Travel Diplomat, and we can take you anywhere in the world that you want to go. We have bus trips, we have cruises, we have land trips. Wherever you want to go, we can send you. Our motto is we liaison to the world. And our office number is 410-412-8386.
Say it again.
Or 410-412-8386. Or my personal number is 443-691-0000. And we have a couple trips. Next year we got a trip going to Japan and Korea. And also we have a bus trip going to the Ark Encounter in Cincinnati, Ohio. Wherever you want to go, give us a call.
Yeah. Talking about them legends of Baltimore, yo. Woo. So many of them. Billy Holiday, Cab Calloway, Drew Hill, Madhouse, and my boy Billy Griffin Jr. Let's go! Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Legends